Iqbal.
And I'm Faiza Kamran.
We welcome you all to this 3-minute thesis competition organized by the Department of Computer Science of Zabist Islamabad. We shall start our day with the holy name of Allah. For that purpose, I would like to call Mr. Hamid for a recitation of Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة له واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين صدق الله صدقت يا رب العالمين.
Jazakallah. Before proceeding, you are all requested to please keep your cell phone switched off during the event. You are requested to please be seated while the presenter is presenting his presentation, and please keep silent. Your kind cooperation will make this event a success.
To honor the occasion, we, on the behalf of Head of Campus, CS Department, and the best faculty, extend a very warm welcome to the honorable guests, jury members, and participants of the second Inter-University 3 Minutes Thesis Competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, our respected jury members for this competition are Dr. Tamim Ahmad Khan, who is professor in Department of Software Engineering in Bahria University, Islamabad. He earned his PhD Software Engineering from Leicester University, UK. His area of research is service-oriented architectures.
And our second jury member is Dr. Ayaz Hussein, who is Associate Professor and Chairman Department of Computer Science and Software Engineering in International Islamic University, Islamabad. He earned his PhD in Computer Science from National University of Computer and Emerging Sciences, Islamabad. His area of research is image processing, pattern recognition, machine learning, and computational intelligence techniques.
Our third jury member for today's competition is Dr. Basit Shehzad. Dr. Basit Shehzad is a visiting scientist at University of Cambridge, UK, and visiting fellow at Macquarie University, Australia. Dr. Shehzad is currently at National University of Modern Languages, Islamabad. He earned his PhD from University of Technology, Petronas, Malaysia. His area of research is software risk management, software cost estimation, and social network analysis. Our chief guest for today's competition is our head of campus, Khusro Parvez Khan.
Before, Before starting the event, let me share some key details about the 3 minutes thesis competition. The presentation is limited to 3 minutes maximum, and the competitors exceeding 3 minutes are disqualified. Presentations are to be spoken words, no poems, raps, or songs. Presentations are to commence from the stage. Presentations are considered to have commenced when a presenter starts the presentation, either through movement or speech.
Our first participant for today's competition is Ms. Nneda, and her research topic is instructor performance evaluation using convolutional neural networks.
One pen, one book, and one teacher can change the world. Great teachers produce brilliant students, like Socrates produced Aristotle and Plato, like Nikum produced Ishan Avastye in movie Tare Zameen Par. The movie revolved around 8 years old dyslexic child who tried to compete with his classmates in sports and studies but fails, no matter how hard he struggled. Ishan's situation changed dramatically when his art teacher recognized his dyslexic problem and modified his teaching methodology to accommodate Ishan. And soon, Ishan's academic performance improved exponentially and he became the topper of the class. But the question is, do all of us have someone like teacher Nikum in our lives? Majority of students will say no. Our students will blame that their teachers never try to unleash their actual potential. But is it the actual root of problem? The answer is no. Our students are not expressive. Majority of students never approach their teachers to give them feedback about their quality of lecture. And therefore, the quality of lectures drops significantly and everyone suffer. For example, our family, our organization, and our country. In my research, I'm ambitious to bring technological solutions to solve these problems by developing lecture quality assurance mechanism, by fusing the research of computer vision and signal processing. In my research, I'm doing novel deep extreme learning machines to recognize the activities of instructor within the classroom. We are also analyzing the audio of lectures for topic modeling and excitement detection. We are also working on facial expression recognition for student alertness detection. Once we have all this information, we summarize it and generate and aggregate feedback about the quality of lecture. So far, we have achieved an accuracy of 85% in accurately recognizing the activities of instructor and behavior of instructor within the classroom, which is far better than state-of-the-art methods. Our system will allow teachers to get feedback as well as mean to act upon it. But this system is even more important benefit for our country. It would put us on a path to make sure our students will get great education, find careers that are fulfilling and rewarding, and have a chance to live out their dreams. I am excited about the opportunity to give our teachers the support they want and deserve. And I'm certain that after successful completion of my research, no Ishan will remain without a great teacher. Thank you.
Our next participant is Mr. Zulfikar Ali. His topic of research is an IoT middleware based predictive analytics approach for smart city applications.
Hundreds and thousands of people are moving to the cities every day. A graph on the top left shows this urbanization in the cities where around 70% of the people are moving to the cities by 2050. This urbanization is generating different issues in various domains like healthcare, education, safety and mobility. To deal with these problems, we need to have the cities which are smart enough to accommodate this growing number of people. And to make our city smart, we need to make the intelligent applications. The good news is that we already have the hardware devices which can help us, like sensors, cameras, mobile phones.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next participant, Ms. Ujala Binish, and her research topic is Build 3D House Model from 2D Layout Map.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My research is about collecting and refining the information for building and construction projects. In this slide, we have first image, which is 2D map layout. This 2D map layout do not depict a complete picture of the final product. for the users. Sometimes the finished product is not meeting the customer requirements due to lack of requirement analysis, misunderstanding, misinterpretations at both users and designer end. So when the project is completed and not is according to the user expectations, so modification at this moment, when the building is ready, it can affect the cost and budget. In this slide, the second image, we have a graph which is taken from previous research paper. This graph shows that if we do modification during the construction or in the mid of the construction or the final, at the final stage, then it will affect the cost and budget, which is very difficult for a common man to complete his project in limited time and resources. That is a problem. This problem can be solved by refining the information to clear the information what the user want. In this slide, we have a third image, which is our solution. We are providing solution. This problem is arise due to lack of requirement analysis, and we are providing a tool that generates 3D model. There are many solutions are available, but these are specially designed for architecture engineers. Our tool is user-friendly and does not require any deep knowledge of architecture engineering, elevation drawing skills. These tools this tool work with in several stages. In first step, it reads the image, which is 2D map layout, and create the 3D model. In the second step, it allows the user to do drag and drop the furniture, color, wall, and texture. When the building is ready, it allows the user to walk in that model using walkthrough, using VR headset and the controls. When in the final step, it allowed the software will use augmented reality, and it will augmented the 3D model on a real estate building, on a real estate plot. So the user can move in his house while standing on his plot. It will help the user in refining his information, in refining the requirements for architecture and engineers. If any modification is required, the modification can be done before the construction start. This will help the user in understanding the 3D model using walkthrough. We have a problem. We are eliminating cost and budget, and will help the user to complete his project in limited time and resource. I hope my research will be beneficial for users and designers. Thank you so much.
Our next participant is Ms. Saira Khan, and her research topic is Analysis of Energy Inefficient APIs in JavaScript Android Applications.
The use of Android devices have been increased in recent years, but energy is the major constraint in such devices. You all might have used Android phones. What if you install an application in your device and it drains off all your battery? Imagine that you are playing a game and suddenly your all battery have drained out because of that application, and you are left with no battery time, not even for an um call, for an emergency call. What will you do in that case? You will definitely avoid such applications. So developers should keep this limitation in mind while developing applications for Android platforms. Several researches have been investigated in this area to avoid such energy related issues in Android devices. And according to a few researches, JavaScript is the most energy efficient Android application development approach as compared to Java and C++. But there are some performance issues in JavaScript which slows down its execution time as compared to Java. And according to several previous researches, if we work on the inefficient usage of APIs or misuse of APIs, we can deal with the performance issues of JavaScript. But still, there is a research gap that how the generic usage of APIs or inefficient usage of APIs can affect the energy efficiency and performance of the applications. This is what my research work is all about. We have studied 50 different JavaScript Android applications, and after calculating their performance measures, we identified 129 different JavaScript Android applications which are from different categories, which are shown in this graph. And after that, we examined the question answer side Stack Overflow, which to figure out that whether there are any possible available alternatives available in place of the identified APIs or not. And after that, for verification of our results, we then measure the performance measures and energy measures of the applications, and then compare the modified APIs with the original APIs to verify our results. And after that, we came to know that there are different APIs available. For example, in place of prevent default, we can replace it with return false function. To conclude, I would like to say that this work is useful for new developers to learn the efficient usage of JavaScript APIs in place of the identified APIs in different scenarios. Moreover, this work is also useful for future research in this area. Thank you.
Is Mr. Hanan Naseem, and his research topic is explosive events classification using wavelet transform based hybrid technique.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Miss Hanan Naseem. Okay, now I want you to think of a crime scene where your surveillance monitoring camera just stopped working for some reason, and you couldn't capture the exact criminal activity for some reason. Have you ever wondered of it? Have you ever thought of a product that can help you tell the exact weapon being used in a crime scene by just hearing its voice? No? Think it right now. Because if you have to do some crimes investigation and you go to the eyewitnesses and ask them that what happened there, they will tell you each and every detail of the event which they have saw with their naked eyes. But whenever you ask them that what you heard there, they will tell you just one word: a blast. Do you think a blast is enough for us? For the current situation, security situation of 21st century, a word blast is not enough for us. We need to know more. We need to know what exactly caused that blast. Okay, we have proposed a model in this regard. Take the system as a child who knows nothing, and you want to teach him something. You want to teach him something about sounds, and you tell him that this is sound 1 belongs to person 1, and this is sound 2 belongs to person 2. You have taught him enough that he is now able to differentiate between those voices and can tell you that whose voice is whom. Okay. In a similar manner, our system works. We have gave some sound signals to our system, and it then classifies those sound signals in their respective category of weapon using some machine learning techniques. And we have proposed a novel approach. This approach stands an accuracy of 94.6%, where previously claimed accuracy by some other research was 71%. Now you are able enough to know the extent of armed technology used by your adversaries by just hearing the voices of firing on the border. Isn't it cool? This is what intelligent people do. They calculate back the powers of their adversary and then compare them back with more preparation. Hence, for such great national interest, machine learning saves our day like this. And hence, for such great military purpose and audio forensics and crime investigation and surveillance monitoring, I here can say where vision fails, sound helps. Thank you.
Our next participant is Taiba Iftikhar, and her research topic is multisensory human bond communication.
Thank you. Have you ever met a child who was not very attentive and very grumpy? And ever wondered why this child was behaving like that? Well, a lot of people would be thinking that this was because the child was not very intelligent or he was lazy. But what if I tell you that this happens with smart children as well? Now, scuff and scorn is not going to solve this problem for us. So, what do we need to solve this problem is basically two simple things. One, compassion. We have to be compassionate about our children. And two, awareness that I am here to give you today. So, at the end of this presentation, you will be able to tell the exact reason behind your child's behavior. I learned during my research that if the frontal lobe of your brain has a delayed development, it alters your behavior. So it is not deliberate misbehavior that these children do. It is actually a medical condition known as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or simply put, ADHD. ADHD is the world's third most common behavioral disorder that affects both children and adults worldwide. Now, if ADHD is diagnosed, it is very easy to manage it. But the real problem lies with the diagnosis of ADHD. In Pakistan, especially, we have a dearth of child psychiatrists. So we do not get to see children going to child psychiatrists to get their diagnosis done. And luckily, when a child gets to see a child psychiatrist, it's in a private setting, which is costly. And manually, if this process is done, it takes 6 to 8 months to gather all the information about the child through questions which are not only boring, but also make the child uncomfortable. So, because we are talking about children, so I was thinking when I was learning about this, so why not should we use computer program to solve this problem? So, in my research, I designed a computer system that is enabled by sensors and devices that are not only interactive. For example, they are video games that take in the data of the child. They take in the brain and physical activity with the help of sensors, and with the help of video game, they record their performance. This is input into the computer, and my computer tells whether the child has ADHD or whether he does not have ADHD. In the next step, my machine categorizes on a scale from low to high, for example, to answer the questions like, what is the level of the inattentiveness of my child? I am very confident that if this system that has done all this with 80% accuracy and 85% sensitivity, if it is implemented in Pakistani classrooms, we will be able to get personalized medical treatment plans for every child who is suffering from ADHD, because every child deserves our compassion. Thank you.
The next participant, the next participant is Miss Yusra Khalid. And she's not here. Okay. So our next participant is Mr. Farhan Sabir, and his research topic is context-aware wellness determination model for elderly people in smart home.
One of my favorite cartoon characters was Casper. In my childhood, whenever I was in trouble, I used to wish for a friend like him. But unfortunately, I could not find him at that time. But I still need it. But this time, not for myself, but for my parents. As they are old and weak now, and there are so many complicated situations where they can't even call the doctor. So instead of finding Casper somewhere else, I came here and started my research in computer science domain. And luckily, I have found something very similar to the Casper, and that is the smart home for the elderly people. What is a smart home? Smart home is an intelligent environment which gives liberty to the elderly people to live independently. Why it is called smart? Because it has that real intelligence. With the help of it, it can predict the emergency situation and generates a prompt alarm to the caregiver and to the hospital for the required medical assistance. In this way, we can avoid complicated situations and save the life of our loved ones. Amazing. Smart home is a combination of hardware and software. From the hardware part, we have taken tiny electronic circuit known as the sensor. With the help of these sensors, we monitor the daily behavior of an individual. And the software part, we have introduced artificial intelligence and machine learning based technique to process that raw sensor data. Something really innovative about our research is that our proposed model is context aware. We are using behavioral contextual information, like when an activity has been performed, where it has been performed, how much time it takes, what is the sequence of sub-activities in the main activities. By utilizing this behavioral information, we are determining the wellness of an individual. And later on, we are verifying with the help of extrinsic contextual information. I'll explain it with the help of an example. Like in the month of Ramadan, usual wake-up time is from 3 to 3:30 a.m., which is quite different from the rest of the 11 months. Existing proposed technique will mark an abnormality, a sleep disorder, because they are considering it out of the context. But this will not happen in our case because our proposed model is context-aware. So what we are doing, we are moving one step ahead and leaving behind all other, because we are making smart home really intelligent in a realistic manner. We have implemented our proposed model and experimented over the benchmark datasets and compared it with the latest existing technique. And we have observed very promising results, 99.15, and beating rest of the existing proposed techniques. The second graph is showing the validation of context awareness as it further enhances the quality of living and emergency prediction. In the end, I'll explain why I have compared Casper with the smart home, as it is an invisible technology, it is a friendly technology, and it is 24 hours available to monitor our loved ones and help us. Thank you so much.
Our next participant is Mohammed Zakir Khan. His research topic is software remodularization using multi-factors, multi-objectives formulation.
Software remodularization, reverse engineering, or architecture recovery is the process of partitioning a large software system into a subsystem and then provide an abstract view of that software systems. Actually, we are extracting the architecture because we are extracting the architecture from the source code to make a system artifact and then combine these artifacts logically to make an abstract view of that software system. A large number of software systems has been available in the market, but there is no proper documentation. The main problem is that there is no proper documentation. Secondly, if we have documentation, but this is not updated, because software systems are frequently changes according to the requirement. Adding of new requirement make the software system difficult to understand and maintain. So a large number of techniques has been used so far for software architecture recovery. The main problem is, the main achievement is to improve the quality. We can achieve better usability, better in the understandability, and ultimately we can reduce the cost of the maintenance. So a large number of techniques have been used so far, either deterministic and non-deterministic. But I am using non-deterministic technique because deterministic techniques fail to participate a large software system or a legacy system. So the first step is, whenever we are extracting a system artifact from the source code, differently we are seeing the relationship among the classes, the relationships. So the first step, I am extracting the classes and their relationships. After that, I am making a cluster on the basis of their relationships. Then I am making multi-objective, because up till now, research has done on either on a single objective across single relationship or single relationship across multi-objective. The novelty of my research is to combine the multi-objective with multi-relationships. So here I'm instructing the classes and the relationship. After that, I'm making the cluster update and then apply the multi-objective. On the basis of multi-objective, similar classes are combined to make similar cluster on the basis of their similarity and dissimilarity. After that, I'm making to represent the system better in a form of graph. This is weighted class combined graph. After that, I am representing the system which is better as compared to the previous research, because previous research has targeted only a single objective and single factor. My results show better efficiency according to the precision and recall. In short, we can say that every action has a relation. So every software engineering has a reverse engineering. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next participant, Mr. Mohammed Haq, whose research topic is continuous authentication of smartphone users based on their behavioral traits.
It was about a year ago. One day I was coming back home from the university and my phone got snatched on the way. And it's just not me. 70% of the world population currently owns a smartphone. And every 1 out of 10 users is a victim of smartphone theft. The real issue is not the loss of phone. The critical issue is the loss of private data in case of smartphone theft or loss. And very unfortunately, commonly used methods for securing our phones, including fingerprint scans and pattern locks and face locks, they are no more secure. They cannot protect our data in case of smartphone theft because they are exposed to several attacks with the passage of time. So that incident actually motivated me to do something real for this society. And I came up with this continuous authentication of smartphone users based on their behavioral traits. So, what are these behavioral traits actually? These are our physical activity patterns, maybe hand waving gestures, walking, sitting, standing, anything like that. And these traits are different for every individual in this world because of the biological differences in our body structures. And what we can do is we can exploit those differences with the help of some sensors, and we can identify a person from other persons on the basis of his behavioral traits. And this is what I have incorporated in my research work. And I propose a machine learning based algorithm which can identify a smartphone owner from rest of smartphone users on the basis of his behavioral traits. So what I did, I proposed an algorithm which actually uses the built-in motion sensors of the smartphone that are accelerometer and gyroscope, and it extracts data and learns the activity pattern of a smartphone owner. Once it has learned the activity pattern for an owner, it can later identify that person on the basis of what it has learned. So I tested my proposed algorithm on 30 different users for considering 12 different daily living activity patterns, and my algorithm achieved an average recognition accuracy of 97.3. And it is for the first time that someone has proposed such an algorithm, and considering that it is very interesting that my algorithm has achieved such accuracy. So what could be done is that smartphone manufacturing companies can integrate this method, can integrate this algorithm into their phones, into their operating system, and then can let smartphone owners train their devices to learn them, to identify them on the basis of their own activity patterns. So this is at the end actually. My proposed algorithm can also be used for activity pattern analysis in case of health monitoring, crime investigation, and forensic analysis. Thank you so much.
Our next participant is Abid Rauf, and his topic of research is smart grid. Okay, our next participant is Miss Aisha, and her research topic is a real-time system for epileptic seizure detection using supervised machine learning.
Assume for a moment you are presenting your presentation in a classroom or a meeting room and afraid that you could lose complete control of your body at any moment. People with epilepsy live with same fear every day. Epilepsy is a serious mental disorder that's affecting over 65 million people across the world, and every 26th individual is epileptic. The cause of epilepsy is abnormal and excessive electrical activities of brain cells that appear in the form of epileptic seizures. When a seizure happens, individual gets classic uncontrolled jerking movements and momentarily becomes loss of conscious. For detection of an epileptic seizure, medical experts recommend electroencephalography of the brain that takes snapshots of electrical activity. But the manual inspection of electroencephalograms or EEG recordings is very difficult and a challenging task. Moreover, in the existing literature, researchers only focused on the classification of individuals into normal and epileptics, but didn't dig down to their levels. In my research, I tried to overcome these research gaps by introducing a novel machine learning based approach. In this approach, EEG recordings of normal as well as epileptics of varying severity levels are collected, and their characterizing features are extracted to train a convolutional neural network. This categorizes epileptics into three levels of controlled, mild, and severe, and classifies normal individuals into three levels of normal, initiating, and developing. To evaluate this approach, 5 normal individuals, and the other one contains EEG recordings of 5 epileptic patients. The experimental results show that proposed approach not only determines the existence of epilepsy, but also tells the chances of appearing epilepsy in a normal individual and severity levels of epileptic patients. Thank you.
Our next participant is Mr. Hussein Shehbaz Khwaja, and his research topic is domain-specific emotion lexicon expansion.
Emotions, an essential property of human being. Whatever we say or write, it always carries some sort of emotion in that. For example, I don't like my new phone and I post a review about it on my Facebook profile. Chances are that it will carry anger or maybe sad emotion. This is just one example. Today, we communicate via text messages, WhatsApp, emails every day. So it's a lot of text. Imagine how awesome it would be if you can extract emotions from a text message you just received from your wife or your husband in case of ladies. So the question is, can we extract emotions out of text? The answer is yes. How? Computer science comes to the rescue. One of the popular methods of extracting emotions out of text is use of lexicons. So, what is a lexicon? A lexicon is simply a dictionary of words where each word is labeled with some kind of emotion category. So we simply check the occurrence of those emotion words within a given text and label it with the most dominant emotion. The problem occur usually these lexicons are hand annotated and it requires a lot of effort. So the problem comes with the variety of domains. For example, you can see here the word seized can carry three different emotions in three different domains. So how to handle that? Shall we annotate a new lexicon for every new domain? I don't think so. That is not cost effective. So we have proposed a new methodology where we can take a lexicon and make it adaptive to any given domain. All we need is a whole lot of text, a big corpus, unlabeled corpus from the target domain, and a labeled lexicon, which consists few thousand words, labeled words. So following a three-step process, which involves parts of speech tagging and calculating similarity between words, we can adapt an existing lexicon to any given domain. We have done a case study on the comments of software developers from Jira. Uh, it is an interesting case study where we correlate emotions with their productivity, and our expanded lexicons have performed 6% better than existing lexicons. So it basically eliminates the need of annotating the lexicons manually, and we can basically extract emotions from any given domain using our methodology. Lastly, I would just like to say that we respect your emotions and we are just trying to make it easier for everyone to understand them. Thank you very much.
Our next participant is Saida Nuzat Batul Zedi. Her topic of research is dynamic clustering with QoS scheduling at the mobile hotspot in dense mobile environments.
Good evening, everyone. Have you ever attended a conference and failed to even get a basic Wi Fi connection? Where too many people are trying to connect with the venue's network, and the system can't cope with the um, with the challenges. It's frustrating. Imagine even a bigger scenario like the football stadium, Hajj, and the time of Arbain in Iraq.
Providing internet access to such a big crowd is a great challenge because as the number of people increases, the tower chokes. Ultimately, the network speed goes very slow. The existing system, that is our 3G or 4G tower, that fails to provide satisfactory coverage, network coverage in these scenarios. Here, my research steps in. In which I divided the whole crowd into smaller group of people. And each group is represented by a group leader. And that group leader is selected by its neighbor on the basis of energy, load, and the number of neighbors. Now, instead of the whole crowd, as you can see in the slide, now instead of the whole crowd, only cluster heads or group members will connect to the 3G or 4G tower. This is how we can maximize the coverage area and minimizes the load at the tower. Let's apply this scenario in this hall. A few of you guys or people, let's apply this scenario on the mobile devices that you're holding right now. Some of the mobile nodes or the devices will be selected as a group leaders. But unfortunately, these devices don't have the ability to prioritize and provide preferences to the upcoming or incoming package from the group members. But my proposed technique provides the priority and preferences in such scenarios. So, applying these scenarios to this current system, we can maximize our coverage and minimizes the network load on the 3G or 4G towers. Thank you.
Okay, so do we have any participant whose name hasn't been called yet? No, fine. Thank you participants for presenting your thesis in very interesting and innovative manner. It's time for us to take a 30 minutes break for the judges to compile results of this competition. Meanwhile, our honorable guests and participants can enjoy the refreshment. All the 3-minute thesis participants are requested to please head for room 102 with Ms. Sehrish, and Zabis faculty members may accompany Dr. Imran in room 101 on ground floor. Thank you.